Hello, 7th graders. Your new video is for section 8.3, which is on inferences. An inference is a prediction or conclusion based on a data or reasoning. And so looking at information or data, you should be able to make your own prediction, okay, about what might happen based on the data that you're given. And that's really what this is. And so I have an example here we're going to go through, and hopefully it will make more sense. So the table shows the results of 3 random samples of 30 students each at a middle school with 420 students. The students were asked how many hours they spend online each week. And then here's my little table I made. So less than 5 hours, there's 3 different samples there with some numbers. And then more than or equal to 5 hours, there are the rest of the information there. So here's the first question we want to answer about this. It says for each sample, predict how many students in the school spend at least 5 hours online per week. At least 5 hours. So that would be greater than or equal. And remember that there were 420 total students that we're dealing with. That's an important number here. And so in order to do this, we're going to set up proportions. And it's a good thing we've done proportions numerous times this year. We should be experts at it by now. So for each sample, so I need to do each one separately. So for sample 1, how many kids watched at least 5 hours? 14 of them. 14 out of how many? It said there were 30 in each sample, right? 14 and 16 is 30. So 14 out of 30. And then I want to know how many of them will be. So I want to know how many will be, say that they have greater than or equal to 5 hours online each week out of my total, which is 420. And so since my total was on the bottom over here, the 30 is the total, then the 420 has to be on the bottom as well. And then we just finish our proportion. So crisscross, 30x equals whatever 420 times 14 is, 5,880. I don't know what's going on with this computer, but we're going to try to get through it. So then our last step here is to divide by 30. And so if I take 5,880 divided by 30, it gives me 196 students. Keep in mind here though that it said for each sample, so I need to do that again for sample 2. Sample 2, there are 17 out of 30. And again, your total is going to be 420 that you're trying to talk about. So you're going to follow the same steps. 30 times x, 420 times 17 is 7140. And then you will divide that by 30. And you'll get 238 students. And then for sample 3, there are 19, so do the same thing again, but using 19. So 19 out of 30 equals how many out of 420? Crisscross, 30x equals 420 times 19, which is 7980. And then go ahead and divide by 30, which is 266. So I did all 3 samples. I got 196, 238, and 266. Okay, so 3 different numbers. Part B says describe the variation. Okay, well, variation, how much does it vary? So from 266 to 196, it varies 70 students, right? There's a 70 student difference between sample 1 and sample 3 for our predictions that we made. So step 3 here, Draw an inference about the number of students in the school who spend at least 5 hours online per week. So then a prediction that you could make, if you go back and look at your 3 samples here, you pick the middle number, the middle sample. So we're going to say this one. So we're going to say about 238 students spend at least, and my computer has been going crazy, so I don't know what is going on here. 238 students spend greater than, that's a really nice, greater than or equal to 5 hours. We're just going to have to pretend that you can read that because I can't figure out what's wrong with this computer. 238 students spend at least 5 hours per week online. So bring that knowledge with you about looking at data. It could be in a table, or it could just be in a list or something, but if you look at the data, you should be able to make some predictions based on that data. Bring that information with you tomorrow and we'll talk about it more. Have a good night.